Call the meeting to order with a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll.
Martyr, absent. Mazer.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Zimmer.
Here.
We need to make a motion for Kurt's absence.
I'll make a motion to excuse his exit.
Support.
Mazer.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Martyr, absent.
Non-agenda items from the sidelines, I don't really have any. Nobody's coming anything in. Comments from city administration?
Hands up.
Pass it around. What do you think about this?
Last month, I told you we went over to South Haven to discuss the new fire engine with them and made some changes. I've got a new price amount. Do you guys need to approve that?
What, and how much is it?
$534, $749,
$534 set, and what was the original?
$516, $857.
Yeah. I'll make a
Before you
motion,
all on.
I'll make a motion to approve the new
Spinners.
expenditure to $534,749.
Support.
Thank you. Oh, you have to vote.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Martyr, absent. Mazer.
Yes.
The only other thing I'd have is, this year they started the new dispatch protocol for medicals where we aren't going on as many medical calls anymore. We're probably gonna be down 80 calls from last year for this year.
That's for the whole.
The whole area, yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
He's got a couple things on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured anyway, so. No, Judy's not here for Parks and Rec, but we will have someone soon. Can I get adoption or amendment of the agenda?
I'll make a motion we adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Martyr, absent. Mazer.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Okay, on to approval of regular meeting minutes of November 7th, 2023. Can I get a motion?
There's no questions, I will make a motion to accept the minutes.
Support.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Martyr, absent. Mazer.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes. And presentation on the approval of the disbursements, November disbursements of $212,082.77, and electric wire transfers of $13,980.36. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion when we approve the disbursements of $212,042.77 and the electronic wire transfers of $13,980.36.
Support.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Martyr, absent. Mazer.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
All right, and now on to our audit presentation. Well, you're ready, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You might go over there.
Oh, sure.
Okay, I handed over a copy of your annual financial statement report. As you know, you contract with our firm to do your annual financial audit. We come out, spend about a week with you, and then we pull it all together, come out, and go through it page by page with a couple of the council members and administration. Overall, everything looks good in this report. They're in good financial condition, but we'll kind of talk a little bit more as we go through. It's about a 35, 40-page report. If you turn and just pass the table of contents on the binder there, it says UHY at the top, Independent Auditor's Report. You have what they call an unmodified or clean opinion. That's what you're striving for. once you approve it tonight, we're gonna ship it to the Michigan Department of Treasury. That's one of the first things they look at is what type of an opinion you received. And again, it's what they call an unmodified or a clean opinion. Page 4, 5, and 6, and 7, what I spend a lot of time with is what they call the management discussion and analysis. It's a letter that explains to the reader a little bit about the city of Memphis, how your financial statements are put together, as well as some summarized financial information. We're going to talk a little bit more detail than that tonight, but it is required to be in there in order to get that unmodified opinion there. On page 8, as I've explained in the past, you usually have 2 sets of financial statements in your audit report. Page 8, 9, and 10 are the commercial way of looking at the city of Memphis. And the major difference is it adds the book value of all your assets. Value of your buildings, your fire trucks, anything you own down there. And if you go to the bottom right-hand corner of the last line, if you were a company, you'd have a net equity of $5,739,000. The only thing I want to point out here is a lot of municipalities have promised legacy costs for pensions and so forth. Your city hasn't done that, so you're not whole. A lot of my cities are actually in deficit when you look at them on a commercial way of doing it. You don't have any of that in your financial statement, so that's good. If we can turn over to page 11, we'll start talking more about how you handle your internal accounting as well as how the state looks at it. Page 11 is what they call your balance sheet as of June 30th, 2023. The first column is your general fund. You'll see that cash of $336,000, some investments of $539,000, some receivables. Total assets this year of $952,195. Liabilities, some accounts payable, accrued liabilities, which is mainly payroll taxes and payroll deposits payable, our performance bonds and things like that. Total liabilities of $42,261, which left your fund balance as of June 30th, 2023 of $909,934. There's a real small chunk of it, what they call non-spendable. That's because you've already paid for something that benefits the year you're in. But again, basically $909,000 is your fund balance. The next column is your major street. I won't read the cash and everything, but your fund balance as of June 30th for your major street fund is $590,769. Your fire equipment replacement fund had $444,048. And then there's all your other funds. You have a number of other equipment funds. Their total fund balance was $427,735. If we turn over to page 13, page 13 is what I call the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes of fund balance, the operating statement. It lists the revenues that come in. You can see your tax revenues of $575,000. It goes into intergovernmental of $187,000, charges for services. Total revenues this year was $1,112,417. Your expenditure by major category, general government, public safety, and so forth. Total expenditures this year of $1,024,672. So before what they call other financing sources and uses, you were $87,745 to the good. You had some insurance proceeds come in for $13,070, and then your net transfers to other funds and from other funds. In total this year, you were $109,151 to the positive. That's revenue over expenditures. A very good year for your general fund. The major street fund right next to it, you'll see there back up towards the top, they took in $127,729, spent $67,288. Transferred $15,000 to the local street fund, so they were $45,441 to the good. Your fire equipment replacement, excuse me, had revenues of $12,841, and then there's a lot of transfers back and forth between the equipment fund. Net transfer in of $61,463. So that fund was $74,304. All your other funds together there, you see what at the very bottom was $61,545 positive. There. Thank you, sir. Always happens at the first time, right? And I can, we'll talk about those, the actual total column in the back in just a second. On page 15 and 16, are what they call your water funds, water and sewer fund. You'll see the water and sewer fund in cash of $333,020. Your receivables, water and sewer bills that come in $92,110. The value of your water and sewer lines and plant and tower and so forth, the book value of $1,285,000 for total assets of $1,711,000. Some accounts payable, accrued liabilities, some vacation sick if your employees were to leave. Total liabilities of $23,250, which left your net position of $1,687,824. But most of it's tied up in that capital asset, that $1,285,000. The unrestricted of $401,880 would be similar to what your fund balance would be in the general fund. So that's basically what you have available. Over on 16 is the operating statement for your water and sewer fund. You see the water charges this year was $189,796. You'll see the sewer charges there of $157,409. Some other revenues. Total revenues this year are $349,902. Your operating expenses primarily made up of wages and fringes of $242,000, and you can see all your other expenses there. Total operating expenses of $372,000. You then had a little bit of interest that you earned of $7,413. So for the year ended, you actually had a net loss of $14,687, but that includes depreciation on your system of $50,000. If you add that back, you would have been $35,000 to the positive.
That's correct.
Now, if we kind of turn to the back there, I just want to touch on those other columns on pages 33 and 34. That other column up there that we kind of talked about is made up of 6 funds. And you can see there on page 33, first of all, your local streets, they ended up with a fund balance of $210,711. You also have a municipal street fund that has a fund balance of $196,000. Your police equipment fund had $91. Your DPW equipment replacement $8,258. Your clerk treasurer equipment $9,909. And your library equipment replacement of $22,351. And if you turn over to page 35 and 36, it shows the revenues and expenditures of each of those funds. Your local street this year brought in $51,188. You spent $25,000. You transferred that $15,000 for the major streets, so they were $41,065 to the good. The municipal street fund just brought in taxes of $53,000. There are no expenditures against that. That added to your beginning fund balance for the fund balance at the end of the year of $196,000. And then you can see each of the capital projects funds, the revenues and expenditures there. That's a real quick synopsis of the numbers. Any questions on the numbers overall? I think, very good report. I also handed out a couple.
Just one,
Yes.
just to kind of clarify in water and sewer, there was expenditure, that's why it's negative. There's expenditure spent that's going to be refunded. $50,000, by the way, has already been refunded.
Already.
Yeah, but there's more to come in to be refunded. So that's why it's negative.
You had a grant approved after the end of the year then to reimburse some of that. The first letter I'd like to talk about is what this is, independent auditor's report on internal control. When we come to the audit, not only do we audit the numbers and make sure what, you say you have this much cash, we make sure that much cash is sitting in the bank. But we also take a look at your control. If we become aware of any weaknesses, we're required to communicate it to the city council. Really, there's only one technical question, one here, and that has to do with comparing your financial statements. As I always explain, back when Enron was going on and everything, we came up with this crazy idea that every municipality, every commercial entity, regardless of size, should have somebody on staff that could pull this whole document together. Well, that's what we do for a living. You guys run a city for a living, your administration. And that's what that just says, you rely on the auditors to pull it together. But I do a governmental accounting pretty much 100% of my time, no governmental and non-profit. Other than that, we didn't have any weaknesses in your system there. The second letter is the audit communication letter. CP firms aren't required to come to a meeting with us. We always hang out, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and answer any questions. He just talks about whether we have any difficulties, and we have any difficulties, your staff is very cooperative. We not only talk during the audit process, but throughout the year when there's questions that come up. And then we, in the back, as I said before, we come out and we go through this page by page with a couple of the city council members and you, and Donna and a couple, and go through it in a draft form. And then we talk about a few things, and there's a couple of things that we, areas that we want to just look at a little bit. They're not what we consider weaknesses in control, but there's things we discussed at the meeting, and we always attach them so everybody can kind of get an idea of that. That's really what that audit communication is about. Again, overall, I think it's a good year.
I have a procedure question for you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Does all money that comes into the city have to pass through the general fund before it can be dispersed to other funds? For example, that $13,000 check from the insurance.
Doesn't have to be.
Right.
You can, you can spend your capital fire department money, you capital theoretically, we don't have that fund if you want.
Any other questions? Comments, Larry?
So is there a bottom line, how close to what we projected to spend to what we actually spent? That is going back into the,
Like your budget compared, yeah, if
Into
you
the
turn
general
the
fund.
page.
I was trying to follow it, and I think I circled the right one.
If you turn to page 30 and 31. So then, page 30, starting out, you'll see at the very top, it says your budget, your original budget.
Yes.
And it lists your final budget, your actual numbers, and then what they call a variance column, the difference. And then if you go over to 31, the very bottom number, your original budget had estimated you would have expenses over revenues of $17,885. You had amended the budget during the year that you would probably end up losing $99,076, and you actually come in $109,000 to the positive. Is that?
That's the one I
question?
got, yes. Okay, good. Thank you.
And you can see by department, each of the, how it varied for a lot more detail. for you.
Okay. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Is that all? Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you again.
Well,
Thank you.
all right, communications, I don't have any.
Yeah, usually we allocate about 5,
So we're moving to the unfinished business?
Do we have to approve?
Oh, you have to approve that.
Yeah,
Right,
I'll
okay.
make a motion that we approve the budget.
Support.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr, absent Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sorry about that. It's not on the agenda. I don't do it. So, on the communications, we have none. Unfinished business, adoption of ordinance number 222, which is to amend Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 150, Section 150.151 of the zoning district. Who's got that?
That was, we talked about that last committee, November 7th. And it was just a kind of a clarification, so that how the different allocations of different districts we have. So this clarifies it, and we already introduced it, so I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 222.
Support.
Martyr, absent Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Okay, on to number 2, adoption of ordinance number 223, which regards amending title, what is that, 9, General Regulations, Chapter 92 of Nuisance, Section 92.20. Same sort of thing?
Yeah, this ordinance only changed the height of the grass from 12 inches down to 6 inches. Again, it was adopted on November 7th, so I'll make a motion that introduce, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 223.
Support.
Hang on. Okay, Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr, absent.
Okay, number 3, rental property management code, rental property inspection. This is stuff that Eric had presented us with a little bit at the last meeting. Do you have more on that?
Well, I would just like to see this go to a committee and begin working on this to hammer out how we want ours to look. I think that it's something that will obviously change over time, that will add and subtract things. I think this is a good place to start though, which is from, I believe K-PAC, the village of K-PAC. I have some that came from Shelby Township, and I have one that came from somewhere else, I forget exactly. But this is pretty good. I also gave a list here for the inspections, what they should be looking at. And there's also a national property code book, which is in the office if anybody's interested in looking in that, which I think eventually we should adopt the national property code and then put this ordinance in for ourselves. That's just my opinion though. But I think it should go to one of the committees. I don't know. I don't know if you want to do advisory or if you want to do, I just don't know.
I think it would be advisory.
I think it should be advisory, and I did talk to Mel, our inspector, on that. And K-PAC has the, because he has property in K-PAC, and it's inspected the same way as this does. Also, they have a outside firm that does it. They don't do it in-house. And I think they charge $70, I believe, for each inspection. So
Would that be per-
would be something.
would that be per unit?
Yeah, and I think, I don't know whether Mal's interested in it or not, but you might have his input if you have a meeting. And I think it also should go to advisory, by the way.
I'm not on that committee, so don't look at me.
No, I know.
I'll make a motion to send it to the advisory committee.
I'll support it.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmer.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr absent, Mazer.
Yes.
All right, and on to new business. We have hopefully a new Parks and Rec director, Becky Paré. You start in January?
Right.
Okay, we need to vote on that?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we can get a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Becky as a parade, as Park and Rec Director
Support.
You accept it?
Yes.
in January.
It's too late now.
Too late now anyway, right?
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr absent, Mazer.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Big
Uh,
shoes to fill, Judy.
I think you'll do good.
Yeah.
Judy's still around for that moral support, I'm
That's
sure.
what she said, it's good.
And she has music set up for the next week.
Yeah, she's got a music book for the summer, which is a big
There you go. New business number 2, to approve the council meeting schedule for next year. You all have that in your packet, you looked it over, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting dates of 2024 as printed out here.
Support?
Who supported? Okay. Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr absent, Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
And just to point out that in January, it's the 9th, our meeting. It won't be the first one. Okay.
All right, so on to the DPW and water and sewer wage increase. Larry, that's.
Yeah, a lot of times we discuss wages as with the union, we have to go into executive session, but this I don't think we need to. That's only when we're actually in negotiations. The starting wage on the original contract, that was, it was a 5-year contract, and in the first 4 years, we didn't adjust the starting wage at all. Starting wage was $17.50. And also, we didn't adjust the labor one, which is usually comes in about 90 days after they start. So we had a committee meeting on that, and what we're recommending is that that starting wage be increased to $20, and the labor one will increase to $21, and the labor two will be $23, and that's after 18 months. I think your sheet there indicates a wrong figure there, so that should be changed. And then maintenance, which is license, will increase to $26.50. And this the major reason we did this is because of the inflationary pressures in the last year or two has been astronomical. And we wanted to hire, we do have to hire a new employee. And I think Bart checked on a couple other ones, and they're even higher than what ours is, I think, in some cases. Anyway, committee meeting, we had a committee meeting on this, and it's our recommendation that we approve that.
So these numbers are based on competition or inflation?
Both.
Because if I may be mistaken, but I feel like when we talk about wage increases for city admin, we did it based on inflation at 8%. And some of these are, 16%, 15%, 14%.
Well, and just like I said at the start, we have those wages on the contract, if you look at it, have not been increased for the last 4 years, especially for the starting and the labor one. Were not increased, they were stable for those 4 years. And so that's why you're going to see a significant increase right now on those areas. And then there's the last year of the contract, which comes as July 1st, 24, they'll get another 50-cent increase, and then 25 will have negotiations. So there's been inflation every year, and these wages have not been increased at all. So you have to
4 years of
consider.
inflation.
You got to consider the last 4 years, and then there's 50 cents with the wages or the inflation factor now that would not near cover that inflation factor. So that's why we looked at the whole thing, the whole package. So.
And when you look at things like the gas station over here, starting people at $16 an hour.
And I think Bart can tell you that they have to do a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't want to do. Actually,
There's a lot more to
There's a lot more to it than
DPW than
just pumping
putting
gas.
a chair together.
You're not just mowing, what the people see aren't exactly all that you do. You're not just mowing grass.
They don't
and
see us go
plowing
down that
level.
manhole with the sewer,
Right.
things like that, or
And they're on call a lot too.
24/7.
Yeah, so that's a fact.
Larry, do you already have an agreement with the union?
Pardon?
Do you already have an agreement
Oh, yes,
with
yeah.
the union?
Yes, I got a signed agreement, I got a signed agreement with the Stewart and myself and Bart,
Yeah.
and they've notified the representative. And now, once we agree to it, then it will have to be signed by Donna, the mayor, and the union representative.
So you haven't heard from the union yet?
Yeah, well.
With the Stewart,
I've been in contact with
He's been in contact with her.
Why would they object over an increase?
They wouldn't,
They wouldn't.
I mean, it probably would come in July anyway.
right.
Some of it. Yeah.
Are other cities, villages, whatever, that are under this same contract agreement doing these types of increases as well?
I can't answer that. They're,
I can tell you, because I saw one advertising, about 15 miles that away, their starting pay is at 20.
I'm not saying it's not deserved, I'm just trying to understand, because when we renegotiate a union contract, if the wages
I
are
just
higher,
know the
the
last,
union-
I'm not sure if you're aware, but I lost an employee.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
so we're gonna be hiring too. so.
Yeah,
As
no,
as a Monday, there's only 2 of us.
well,
Yeah.
if you note in the contract that they signed, or a memorandum of understanding that we had them sign, this wage increase will address all inflationary issues prior to the next contract negotiations. So basically, we're addressing that now, so of course it was, next year, I know, not next year, the following year.
2025.
Negotiations, yeah.
Yeah,
the contract's
Yeah,
up.
but we're taking, this kind of will be addressed now, and they understand that.
And then in 2025, the rates will be adjusted again.
Oh, yes.
Based
Well, you're
upon
in negotiations, you're in
negotiations on that, yeah.
So, we-
Okay,
okay.
I just want to make sure we're being responsible, that's all.
Yep.
And Tim, let me add to the conversation a little bit, you know, I was on the committee. I feel it's a very generous increase, and I do speak from experience, I retired as a multi-tradesman. And my hope was in this discussion, and I did support it, but I also noted that I think that that's an excellent job. And I know that sometimes people are saying good people are hard to find or out there, but I hope that we do find that good individual, because with the wages and benefits,
Right.
this is really a generous offer. And I would
Yeah.
just hope that we do find the right person to fill it. And I also noted in that meeting that I think we should take that into consideration of what this increase that we're advocating for now. Let's not forget about that we did this when we do open up negotiations in 2025.
Right.
And looking at the median wage, we're really right in the ballpark for where it stands now. It was $15 to $18 an hour, I just want to state that too, so.
Yeah, I mean,
We're definitely.
I'm not saying we shouldn't be
No, I know,
competitive by any
I'm
means.
just saying that we didn't do it, and I didn't do it lightly, because I feel it is a pretty generous offer, and I just want to put that out there. I mean,
I just wanted to
it's a
make sure
great
that-
job, and I think the right person would just jump at the opportunity to come in, and there's room to advance. It's a small environment, it's a small
That's
town,
what-
there's all kinds
this is what
of
kind of
great
opened that
perks
up
for the
is-
job.
Steve.
So I hope that we get it done.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
I know 2 years, 8 months ago, when I put an ad in, and it was $17 an hour. I acquired officially had 2 applications. And the one I ended up hiring, just, we got him by word of mouth.
Do you have somebody?
What's that?
Did you hire somebody?
No, not
Have you
here.
hired somebody
No,
yet?
no, we were waiting for these numbers here before I
Kurt
Yeah.
has
Right.
signed this, right? This has got his.
And I know based on my, personal experience in my, personal line of work, sometimes throwing money at things doesn't work,
No,
right? And this is a significant amount of money, not just the hourly wage, I'm not even as concerned about this, it's the other stuff, it's retirement, it's benefits, it's all the other things that increase.
we don't have retirement, so.
Oh, you don't have retirement?
No.
It's benefits,
Yeah.
workers' comp increases, unemployment tax.
There was a time where I
increases.
think our benefits were more than what they were making.
I'm just saying,
That one,
yeah, I'm not saying it's not deserved, I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure it's the right timing and everything like that,
Right.
because there are, beyond just the hourly rate increase, there are a significant increase to other factors as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
And I just
sure.
wanna make sure that it's the right
It's on
decision.
everything. just
I agree with
material.
that, that's where I was trying to make my point, that it is really a good job with
Yeah.
the size of the wages. And
Right.
I would hope any candidates that.
I just
apply
hope
would
what we
realize
get,
that.
we can hang on to and they,
Stick around.
yeah, they stick
We
around.
need
Good
to
help
get
is
that-
work
I've
the
only hired
licenses.
3 people
Holy
since
cow.
I've been here in 31 years.
Yeah,
Well, we need them to get their license.
Need them to get licensed for things, that's what really would be the beneficial.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we haven't been successful yet.
No.
Yeah, so.
We need somebody that wants to take this job in the future.
Or were you still in mind of involving a couple of us in just the interview process?
Yeah, no.
so when somebody gets hired in, say that they'll get hired in at the 20, and then if they obtain their license, they can go up to maintenance man?
If a man walked in right now and had his S license, his B license, and a
You
liquor
could go
license,
straight to that.
we've never ran across that, I don't think we're gonna run across it at $20.
After 180 days.
But yeah, we'd have to put some time in on that. I'm not gonna be able at these wages steal somebody from another city by no means.
Sure.
So,
Like I said, just curious.
yeah,
Just want to make sure that it's the right decision.
but it's, like I say, that's always been the drive and anyways.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the wage schedule as is.
I'll support it.
Wilson,
Yes.
Simmer,
Yes.
Martyr. Martyr, absent Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Okay, on to our, the renewal of our Comerica CD. Larry, I'm sure you worked on this.
John and I have been going back and forth on this and reviewing it, and we're recommending that we go 6-month CD at 4.75. I think the current one is at 4.50, but we recommend 6 months and pick up a little bit more.
Okay, any motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr, absent Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
I just noticed, it's gonna be for a year instead of 6 months, though.
Yeah.
I thought we were having them, both of our CDs alternating due dates.
We, last time, one time, a year or two ago, we went with 3 months because of how we were preparing, so.
This last time we went with 3 months with Comerica, because it was higher. So I guess whatever the highest rate we try to go with.
Yeah, so we don't
Okay, not
have to.
necessarily every
No, we
6
don't
months.
have-
We tried that, but then it starts with everything from 2020. And that could change tomorrow, and if it does, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah,
But,
okay,
It's
all
not
right.
due to the 7th.
yeah, 2 days, yeah.
So the James thing was,
Good, thanks.
Okay, on to new business number 5, the performance resolution for municipalities.
this is something we do every year, it's on the roads, right?
Yeah, streets.
We do that every year.
This is from the state.
Yeah, this is a requirement, I say what everybody can relate to is the parades we have, that's one. I have to fill out an annual overall permit for construction, banners, parades, anything working it within the right of way. And then from there, if, let's say I gotta rip up a section of Main Street, usually a contractor, it takes a little bit of while and a few hoops for them to jump through it, where we have a standing agreement with this resolution that if I got a water main break, I don't have to wait 3 months or whatever. We just perform the work and we have to put it back together to MDOT specifications.
I'll move that we adopt the performance resolution for municipalities. Streets.
Support.
Martyr, absent Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver, Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Okay, DPW invoice from Southeastern Equipment Company. Bart, you had a piece of equipment worked on?
Oh boy, yes.
Like it?
We have a labor on there.
Hey, it's finally working, it seems to be working fantastic. They had to go in and there was a valve that literally blew apart in there and it sent metal shavings or shrapnel throughout that whole hydraulic system.
What was it? What is it? I couldn't find it on here either. Is it?
Oh, the total?
No, what is,
no,
what
This is
is
the
it?
backhoe, right?
Oh, that's backhoe, yeah.
Backhoe. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was listed on there somewhere.
I couldn't,
Yeah, it doesn't, it has the model number and stuff, but.
Yeah, that's my mistake. I should have made a note on that when I signed it. But, in fact, it doesn't even have my signature on it, so. Anyways, they had to, I had to get it hauled down to Southeastern. That would have been a cost of $800 just to get it there. $800 to get it back. I had that done for nothing. So, pulled in a favor, and I got it hauled down. So I'd saved us $1,600 just to get it there. And once they got it, I checked up on it on Wednesday, it left on a Tuesday, I called them Wednesday morning, they had already had it in, and they sprung off the filters, and they were full of metal shavings, and then the next step from there was to start going through the whole entire hydraulic system, taking it apart piece by piece, valve by valve, hose by hose, and flushing and cleaning them out.
They did some, they put some remanufactured part on there or something?
Yeah, there was a slot. I believe they ended up with a couple of valves on it. I know they put a new hydraulic pump on it. As you can see, the cost there, just in labor, was $7,964 and some cents. And the total parts were $2,473. But it was very time consuming. They had approximately 2 weeks, if I remember it. But we've been having issues with that, and I tried a different company, and they kept coming out, and I don't know, third visit or whatever it was, I said, no, there's things I've seen, and anyways, so I chose to send it right where we bought it from. And when it came back, there was no hiccups.
Any other questions on this?
That put me approximately almost $10,000 over budget of what I was.
Yeah, you're in trouble, Mark.
I'm in trouble on the repair and maintenance. Yeah, I didn't see this one coming.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the invoice from Southeast German Equipment Company in the amount of $12,410.32.
Support,
Mazer,
yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Carter, Anderson.
Well, so I could have you read this yourself, but I have something to read from Becky Parra, the library board. Memphis City Council, on behalf of the Memphis Library Advisory Board, I would like to thank you all for the monetary support in our quest for new windows. The replacements were much needed and look fantastic. If you haven't had an opportunity to see them, please plan a visit to the community center. We are truly fortunate to live in a community that sees the value in enhancing its most utilized spaces. Sincerely, Becky Parra of the Library Board.
Thank you.
Nice, Becky.
And besides that, I have nothing.
They have a running sink in place now too.
Oh, they do. Upstairs?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Got running water.
Water.
Running water, hot water.
Windows
coming
you can
up.
open.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Doing a ham pump for you.
Variety, yeah.
We just got some finishing touches on the kitchen cabinet that we installed as far as staining wise.
Yeah, that kind of stuff was
And cabs on it.
so.
New outlet was installed just for the coffee pots.
Larry, you got anything?
I made 4 or 5 spreadsheets on the audit that kind of just gives you a summary of what's, how interpreting this, so it makes it more simple to understand, I hope. And I did call you on the memo that I attached to, and there was a couple errors on how it was addressed there. If there's any problem with that, I can try to explain it now, but if you, it's just a matter that total is being transposed there, so. I'm not gonna go into it now, but if you do have any questions, just give me a call and I'll try to explain it to you, so, and that's all I have.
Steve?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know, if you didn't, I don't know if you get emails from Candace Miller, oversees statewide projects, but there's a bill that is going, that's been introduced to, basically what it'll do is put a statewide tax on water meters. It'll go up to like $24 a piece, it's soon to be $36. The purpose of the bill, which she's not in favor of, is to create another program to help low-income assistant type things. And she states in this letter that there's a number of these programs already in place. So if you have any feelings one way or another, and I'm gonna send her an email that I don't support it, particularly since we just raised our water rates.
Yeah.
That I think it's just another program the government can't help themselves to institute. It's supposed to create a $72 million pool, and I don't really see where it is necessary. It's just another layer of taxes, and it would directly go on top of what we just did here in the city to take care of our own business, and it would never go away,
Yeah,
so.
is that Macomb County then?
Yes, Macomb County.
And you contact her,
Jamie Green is our state
so you
rep.
contact her,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's all.
Well, like I told you, that when I talked to the state about this, that they told us we should create water, treat water as a commodity. And they wanted us to, I think it was double our water rate at that time. That was almost 10 years ago now.
No, they don't have any idea about money in Lansing. They just don't get it.
No, we have any opportunity to raise taxes, so, and that's what, we're trying to keep things reasonable, and I think it
Well,
works
it's
this way.
We don't wanna chase
small,
people out of
you know,
town,
like
that's
Miles
for sure.
Square and,
You guys don't know what to do.
it's hard to keep things on the positive side anyway, let alone other things we got to address. It's hard for a little city like this to be on the plus side. Fortunately, we
Yeah.
are, fortunately we are.
That's an accomplishment, it really is.
I mean, with just the Edison and the gas and chlorine costs and before it even hits your sink. I mean, that's no, sorry people, but I can't buy chlorine for 65 cents a gallon anymore.
30% of that, by the way, she pointed out, will go to out-of-state residents, or will probably
Oh.
out-of-state, so, again, they find all kinds of ways to spend the money that isn't,
Yeah.
whatever the name of the bill is, don't believe it, because
Right.
it really benefit all the residents.
I just want to say Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody comes to the tree lighting Friday night. I'll be baking cookies Wednesday night for you.
Thank you. Please, everybody.
And a happy New Year.
It's 7 o'clock, right? 7 o'clock?
7
Yes.
o'clock.
Yeah.
7 o'clock on Friday.
And
Here,
that's all I got.
here,
The
for your
cookies
time
gonna
mention
be,
that we're gonna be out there selling
Here.
papers.
I think they're in here, aren't
Lions
they?
Club, yeah.
Cookies.
What?
The cookies will be out there, but you bring them here?
we would like you to bring them ahead of time, if not, just bring them when you come in. But
Yeah.
we're open 8 to 4:30, so if you could bring them during the day, that way we can start setting everything up.
Everything will be set up in the fire hall?
Yes,
Did
Uh,
you?
I'd like to
Santa
thank
come?
Robbie. I
Yes.
just wanna thank Robbie. She's done a real good job acquiring bricks and stuff, so.
We have like 33 to go in. They're kind of not only a memorial, it's kind of a legacy of your family. I have a
Yeah.
few families that just have their names on it, that they were here, 30 years, your grandparents, you existed. And
Right.
why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They look good. These
Yeah.
guys will have fun doing it.
I was hoping we had another month of whatever, August.
I wish.
Hey, with that many bricks to get them in place,
Yeah, they look good.
but.
I had a question, Don, maybe you can help me with this. I was at the Memphis High School Board meeting last week, sometime, whatever it was. And they're looking to start a recycling program.
okay.
Do we have a contact at MTerra that I could reach out to see if there's any type of coordination we could work with them, since our city contract is with them? Maybe they'd be willing to help out the school, I don't know.
I can
Maybe it's
give you a
nothing.
contact.
Okay, so I can reach out to them.
That's all to ask.
Does that other, the school
Right,
in
like-
Emmett, do they do recycling too? Since we've had such good luck with Interior. Does anybody-
Yeah,
Yeah, Jeff Rubus has.
Does Jeff Rubbish have
I
a
believe they do.
recycle thing?
Jeff's rubbish
Yeah.
does?
They don't for their home pickup, I don't know.
No, but
But for a
I,
commercial, like
Yeah,
a
I don't know
dumpster.
if they do.
Yeah, I'm just looking
Yes.
to try to help, it's something for, like, it's a student-led initiative. So I said, I'll see what I can find out from our contact that works with the city, and it can't hurt to ask. Maybe nothing comes of it,
Call
maybe
one of
something
them, both of
comes.
them.
Yeah.
Who used to provide the
improve your
recycle
relationship.
containers we had
St. Clair
here in
County.
the city? That was St. Clair County.
Yeah, St. Clair
Yeah.
County.
Okay.
Sinclair Recycling apparently doesn't do it anymore. They were gonna go with them, but apparently they don't anymore.
Who does the school use for their dumpsters?
No idea.
Waste
You
management,
know,
I believe. I believe it's waste management.
Has anyone checked with their own?
Yeah, I'll say their own
They
company
just,
might use.
I don't know like the
They try to
full
get it cheaper
extent.
that way, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know the full extent of everything. I just said I would see what I could find out from here, I
I
guess.
can do a drive-by and let you know what.
I can email you the
Yeah.
information if
Okay.
you want.
Yeah, that works.
That's all I got.
Did Mr. Stolken ever email you today, Donna? About, no? So I met with, or I had a Zoom meeting today with our attorney from MML about the funeral home, and I think that he's gonna wanna set up a special meeting between now and the first meeting in January. So I'm assuming that when we hear from him, we can figure it out. The judge seemed, it was a facilitation meeting, which is where they offer us some certain things, and then we decide if that's good enough for us to accept. I guess we'll have to wait till we hear from Mr. Stolken about that. And,
Do you know if there's been a date set for that circuit court apparent?
this was just a facilitation meeting, so the judge sent this retired judge as a mediator between them and us for 3 hours. And I just want to remind everybody that the Lions Club will be out on the corners this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday selling their Goodfellow papers. So if you could drop off some cones over at the corner tomorrow morning, bright and early?
Bright and early.
All right.
Well,
Or have one of your,
Somehow they
Are you
get
by
it.
yourself right this week?
No.
Okay, because I saw your truck over there the
Yeah.
other day, and it was just yours. I was like, oh man, is he by himself
It's been,
again?
yeah, it's been kind of lonely, but no, Scott came back Monday, so.
All right. I think that's all I had though. Motion to-
We're always looking for volunteers to help out selling those papers too, so.
Motion to
If somebody
adjourn.
wants to
Is
fill
this a
those
week?
slots. be
Are
great.
you running about a week behind on that?